This is a CryptoCousins.com production.
I've created and designed a stand, kind of like what you see on the picture here. But the way that I designed my stand it takes a 120 millimeter fan that you can basically place on the front of it, and it can handle any size GPU that you put there. I have a few designs that I do for ASICs. I didn't bring any of those. Basically, you know how like with any of the ASICs, they have the fans on the front. A lot of people don't like buying the big 120s. They might buy the smaller one. There's a lot of adapters that you can print for it. Basically, I got into 3D printing just because I was tired of seeing all the prices that everybody places on like the pre-made binding kits and everything like that. Like a good example is the one right over there. Those are like the pre-made ones. I can literally hand make those by just buying the material, and it would cost me a third of the price to make those. 3D printers are not as expensive as you think. I have a 3D printer I paid less than $300 for, and it has a 10-inch by 10-inch by 12-inch print face, which is enormous in print style of anything you can do. I like to design and come up with little spots that I can. Like this right here is for a GPU. Again, I love creating my own binding boxes or open air or closed air. I have designed a closed air one that the GPU just didn't fit inside, so I had to come up with some way to get the GPU or the PSU to be on there. And I come up with this that it actually screws on there and holds the PSU without it moving or dropping or shaking at all. I printed that one kind of in a style just to show you all that how quickly it can come out. I edited a little bit because when you put a graphics card on something that small, it was only actually out to about here. It actually starts to fall over because we all know how back end heavy the GPUs are. But the software that I use is called 3D Slash. Unfortunately, I don't have the program on this laptop because my laptop only has a VGA port, not a HDMI, which it says. But 3D Slash is, I think it costs me $5 for the year, and I can literally create anything. It starts off with a big block cube, and you chip away with it kind of like a chisel and create whatever you would like on it. Now, when it comes to the material, PLA Plus is probably going to be your best bet because it's the easiest to work with. Now there is ABS, which is a little bit stronger and a little bit more durable on the fact of how much heat it can stand, but is a lot harder to print with because of the conditions that the printer has to be in or the environment that the printer has to be in. You literally have to have an enclosed box to be able to print perfectly with ABS. ABS is one of the hardest material to print with. Now I did see last week that HP is now going to release in 2020 a metal printer. It will be able to 3D print in metal, which I mean that could be interesting to see how far that goes. Is there any questions about 3D printing? Anybody have any ideas or political questions? Political questions? Yeah, let's go political. From what I was seeing, it wasn't a laser. It was more of like a metal dust, and it was kind of fusing it together with heat and other plastic. So it wasn't 100% metal. It was metal-like. It was a little weird when I was reading on it, and it's only going to cost you $400,000 for one of those printers. If that's, you know, if you want to be able to print in metal, I will stick with my $300 printer and print in plastic all day long. Now the material is actually very cheap. You can get a spool of ABS or PLA or PLA Plus for about $20, and it's 1,000 meters. And printing all three of those, this one right here, the blue one, and the green one, I still wouldn't have used a whole roll. The material is very, very cheap compared to what you can get out of it. Now, the software that I use, I'm not sure, I mean, I guess I can pass around. This is the Reptor host software. It's very, very simple, it's very easy, but however, it does have an advanced setting that you can go in there and you can literally edit your print layer by layer. Fair warning, like those 3 prints right there, that's 766 layers. So if you want to do it layer by layer, then you're more than welcome to do it, but I don't recommend it. It can take a lot of time.
I'll let y'all, these hold together.
How long does it take to print one of those?
One of those, it depends how many you want to print at a time, because like I said, if you have a big enough print base, I can print 2 of them at the same time. But if I'm just printing 1, it takes about 5.5 hours. And a lot of people are, well, you gotta make sure you pay attention to it, you gotta pay attention to it, you gotta pay attention. Because yes, it can, if the print job starts to go a little awry, it can destroy the whole printer. I mean, you're talking replacing the nozzle, the heat bed, everything like that, and that's not very fun. Yeah.
So what's the diameter of the nozzle and of the media that's coming out? Because like every library from Frisco, Plano, and all that, they all have 3D printers now. But they're making like little toy things that are about this big. They'd never be there for weeks to print something even that large.
The nozzle I have on mine is a 0.4 millimeter.
Okay.
It's, but I think there's a 0.2 and a 0.6 that you can also print in. When you do that, you got to make sure the temperature's right, the bed temperature's right, and the speed of the print. Because like I have a flow rate of 25 millimeters per second.
Okay.
So it can print fast, but then the job it's going to look terrible, honestly. I recommend TiVo Tornado is the 3D printer that I'm currently using. It's probably one of the best ones that I've tried about 6 different ones. I've tried the ones where it comes in 400 pieces and I put it together, and I've tried the ones that it all came together. And this one's a mix. It's about halfway put together, halfway not, and it's seriously one of the best printers out of the 6 that I've had. Now there's a lot more beyond just the GPU stuff that I've printed. I have desk organizers that I've printed to help try to stay somewhat organized. It doesn't work very well, but it's nice to have on the desk at least to make it look like I'm organized. I am currently in the middle of building my own open air rig, kind of like the one you see over there, or I saw another one. Where did it go?
Right there?
Yes, that one, the hanging one. Mine's going to be more along the design of that, but I'm going to make it enclosed because I'm going to buy plexiglass and put it on all 4, 8 sides, because it's a cube. 6. 8, something like that. But I'm going to enclose it because I have found that compared to open air, the forced air that you push through it keeps a couple Celsius degrees cooler, and at least where I have my mining rigs at. I use 200 CFM fans, 120 millimeters, that pull about 30 watts a piece, and they really do move some air. You can literally, it sounds like one of it's basically kind of like the AC fans that goes on there. I'm just not sure what.
So what are you mining?
What I'm mining, I actually mine a lot of altcoins. Right now, my rigs are currently focused on a coin called ACE and a coin called X Galaxy right now. I go after a lot of masternode style coins. What I do is I will basically mine the amount that's needed for the masternode, and then I will work with the developers, and I love to write scripts for masternodes. Basically, you run the bash file on the Linux, and it creates a masternode for me. I love doing that. I've done it for quite a few of the coins that I've set up masternodes for, and those are the 2 right now that I'm going after. Like right here, this is the pool that I designed right here. On that, the coins that I'm currently hosting, I have 24 different coins, altcoins that I'm hosting on here. And right here you can basically see these are the X16R. This is a different algorithm than most. It's not a new, but fairly new algorithm that came out, let's see, February. February. Everybody knows like the Raven coin. Such a high difficulty. I kind of tell people that don't mind it on my site because it's just so high of a difficulty that getting enough hash power to be worth mining is not anything. But as you can see, I'm right here. I'm getting a block about every 22 minutes on the X Galaxy one. I don't host really any Ethereum or script or ASIC style coins on this site because I kind of keep it centered and focused towards the GPU miners. There's a little bit more that goes into running a pool than a lot of people think of just setting it up and running it. There is so much more in the back end that kind of hurts my feelings for some people. Like whenever you mine on a site, if you don't wait and get all the what's paid, you can see right here some of these people. It's granted it's a 0.0000137 of a coin, but I will have to hold on to that for at least a year before I can claim it as mine because somebody else mined it. That was their payout. That I have a threshold of 0.001. Anything below that, I have to wait until you get above that for me to pay out. Now, granted, I can go in there manually and pay out all those in the SQL database, but that is a lot of work to find exactly which address it was supposed to go to. And I highly recommend making sure you get all of your coins because every little bit helps sometimes. Is there any other questions on this part?
There's some deeper thoughts or psychology behind that.
It irritates me on that database. It literally holds up more space on my database than I care to admit because it normally flushes out a lot after 6 months, but then when you have 40, 50, 60, I mean, I've been running the site since February. So I've had a few of them finally come back and claim, but at one point I had 130 different payments that couldn't go anywhere because it was below the threshold that I had set.
So how did you set it?
I went back about 4 or 5 months ago and I set the threshold of like 0.0000001 and then finally kicked out. But here's the thing, that cost me more because the tax ID, from sending the coin costs me more to send it to them than actually what they're getting. So I tend not to do that too often.
Good man.
It sucks sometimes.
Why did you decide to start your own pool?
I started my own pool because when I first started mining, I couldn't decide what coin and what I wanted to go after. And every time I found a coin that I was going to go after, and it was like the pool's fees were, like less than 1% or 1%. The next thing I know, I'd wake up in the morning and that pool's fee would be 5%, and I'm just like, that's unreal and ridiculous. Why? With no warning, no, hey guys, by the way, I'm gonna charge you 5 times more. I found out how to write some of the code and had a buddy help me with the rest of it, and I created my own pool just because I was tired of everybody's fees being ridiculous.
And have you ever run into any security issues with people trying to DDoS your pool because they want to take control of?
Oh yeah, I've had multiple attacks in 1 month. Raven, every pool that was hosting a Raven at one point got attacked, and I have 6 different backup servers that run for this. So when they brought my one down, it completely changes the IP address, so the attack stopped there. And then once the attack was over with, I was able to mitigate it back to my main server. I've had multiple attacks and been thwarted. DDoSing is unfortunately a thing we all have to live with nowadays. Just gotta make sure you have backups and redundancies in place. If not, you're gonna have a bad day. And nobody wants to wake up realizing, hey, my whole pool that I've been mining all night is down. Yeah, that's happened a few times with when the developers do something with the blockchain. If I'm not paying attention, so it's very simple and weird sometimes. I'll just pick this one since I actually don't have it on there anymore. Surprisingly, one check mark. This auto-ready check mark. If the developers do something on their blockchain and it hiccups, and it has a timeout of, I think it's 60,000 seconds, the blockchain doesn't give me any kind of block information for that long, it will stop that coin on my site because it thinks something's wrong with the coin, and it's a failsafe that was built into the site. But sometimes it's just, the wallet had an issue, and yeah, that sucks because sometimes it loves to do it about 3 in the morning. And I'm not up normally at 3 in the morning. But there has been times that, yes, that little check mark has cost me hours of mining, which isn't too bad in the grand scheme of things, I guess.
So how do you keep your people happy and informed? Do you use Discord or Twitter?
Yeah, I do Discord. I have Twitter, Facebook. I mainly am very vocal on the Discord. And on my Discord, I have coin suggestions and everything like that. And a lot of times, if the coin is something I'm able to add to the pool, I will have it there for at least 3 months for that person to be able to go crazy and mine it. And if they can bring in more people, we'll keep it. But if it ends up they mine it for 3 weeks and then I never see or hear from them again, I tend not to keep the coin around too long. But I always give everybody a chance to get whatever coin, if they're not happy with the pool that they're trying to get it from or whatever, and it's something I'm interested in or they're interested in, I'll add it, and then I'll even throw everything I have at it, which granted 38 cards isn't too much, but it's enough to do something.
I see your website hitting many a blocks. You're a celebrity.
No, that's too many blocks.
Has your success been because you're straightforward with your fees and going to be consistent?
Yes, and see, actually, my fees haven't changed in 5 months.
Is that your unique selling proposition?
Yeah, I've just always left it at 0.1%. I like the 0.1% because it covers the tax from me paying y'all out every hour, and it gives me a sliver. Like it's not like I'm going to get rich in a year. I mean, it would take me 5 years to actually accumulate enough coins to get something.
Good search engine manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very competitive. Very, very, very competitive. I mean, there's guys on there that I've had. Let's see here. The wording that I use upset him a lot. Let's see here if I can go back to the top. When I had my giveaways and everything like this whole section right here, when I had it set up, there was a guy that had a site similar to mine, and I had the wallets in the same order that he did, and he messaged me every day on the hour saying I needed to change my site. It was too much like his. They are no joke. So yes, I went in there and I rearranged all my wallet locations, just the links, and he stopped messaging me. I don't understand it. It is. I mean, there is actually another mining site. What is this? Rush Hour what? What is the other one? Rush Hour Coins. Yeah, I 2 months after mine went up, there's literally another mining site that's called Rush Hour Coins. I'm like, hey dude, if you can make it work, go for it. I don't care. I mean, there's been people, I've set up 7 different pools, competing pools. I've set them up for them because I don't see it as competition. I see it as the more people that get out there and see what altcoins and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency can do, the better. I mean, there's 2 or 3 of them that pull more miners, more coins than I do in a day. and I set them up, and I know their entire back end. So it's not really a competition to me. It's we need to help each other get this off the ground, honestly. Yes, ma'am.
How many hours do you spend on this typically in a week, maintaining it and dealing with?
A day, about 5 hours a day. On top of my actual job.
So you must be up at 3 in the morning.
I go to bed about midnight, 1 o'clock. I get home about 6, and then about midnight, 1 o'clock, that's when I finally am like, all right, I got to get some sleep for the next day. But it is
Your passion.
not only probably a full-time job, but probably a part-time job for sure to run something like that.
I had no idea what all was involved with that.
There is several things that a lot of guys aren't used to or ready for whenever they first ask me, hey, will you set up my mining pool for me? Sure, are you ready for this? And some of them actually come back to me and go, hey man, I can't do this. Will you take over? And I'm like, no, I have my own. I'm not gonna run 2 different ones. And so they end up either selling it to somebody or closing it down. There's been actually a few of them lately that's just kind of said, I'm done, I'm over with, I can't do it anymore, which is sad in a way, but then again, as a competitor against them, I kind of do a little fist pump. Oh God, yes. How many of y'all are actually GPU miners? How many of y'all have failovers set up in your bat file?
I have no idea.
I always see that at the start, but always.
2 of them. 2 of y'all out of Lord. So, what are you most of y'all mining? Raven? What miner do you use?
All-in-one.
The all-in-one?
That's CC miner like 2.0.
Yeah, the CC miner. Enemy miner is a great one, but CC miner has it where in the bat file, not my computer, I keep thinking, in a bat file, it's a simple command line where it's a start at the beginning, and then you put your first line, whatever pool or whatever you want, and then the second one is the exact same thing, but maybe a different pool. And then you go at the bottom, and it goes go to start, and then once it with CC miner, I believe it's R, or -R, and then a number 3 or 5. It means it'll retry 3 or 5, or how many times you put in there. It'll retry that address, and then once it fails, it'll move to the next address, the next line of code that you have in the bat file, and continue to mine. So if that site does, if that mining pool does have a hiccup in the middle of the night, your miner's not going to stop. It'll kick over to the next pool or coin that you have. Yes, that is one of my biggest pet peeves when people actually do come up to me and, hey, what happened to the so-and-so coin overnight? It stopped mining for an hour. Did you have your failover set up? No. Well, here, what coin are you mining? And I will literally send them a bat file of, here's 3 different other pools that host this coin, so if something happens to mine, it'll automatically go to that next pool. Anybody know what shared master nodes are? No? Shared master nodes are basically, say, granted Ravencoin doesn't have master nodes. Say it takes 10,000 Ravencoin to create a master node. You got 5,000, he got 2,500, I got 2,500. We basically all combine them and give it to a third party, and they host the master node, they host the server, the VPS, and then pay us out weekly or daily. That's something I also am starting to do. Got quite a few people that kind of been my test guinea pigs, and it's been going actually fairly well. To the point where now I'm having a actual developer help me write a automatic payment system for master nodes. So hopefully that will come into effect in the next week or so, and I can get it to where it automatically alerts me when the cap has been reached on the master node, and then it kind of hopefully automates a lot of it for me, because the way I've been doing it right now is literally a spreadsheet that I send out to them all saying payments and transaction IDs, and switching. I have 9 different masternodes right now that I just keep paying out weekly, and it's fun to waste an hour doing that.
You're a week away from this.
But I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm hoping that it comes to fruition on the automatic payments. Yes. Granted, I'm stealing a lot of the code from the pool on the automatic payment style, but it's tough because the pool actually keeps your share percentage, where a masternode, it doesn't really have a share percentage because it's a little bit different on how it's paid out.
Brought to you by BitBlock Boom. Take a look at the Bitcoin conference coming to Dallas, Texas at bitblockboom.com. This is a CryptoCousins.com production.